I am sick of people telling me that there are no jobs. People tell me that, oh, yes, there are no jobs available. What can I do? The government is not providing. And I wonder, do we live in the same world? Welcome to the Double AK podcast, and it's your host, Toyo Erasenar, where you get all things related to life and culture from an IMIC perspective. So, we're talking about jobs in 2022. And before people go and attack me right here, let me say this. I do respect the fact that many people have spent a lot of their time trying to find jobs and to no avail, and they're frustrated and they're tired of trying. However, I do believe that there is always an opportunity where there is a problem. And there are so many problems I could think about right now that it's just itching to say that there are jobs available, guys. Let's go find them. So, I believe in second skilling. This is I'm very much an advocate for second skilling, which means that you have a primary skill. Maybe you went to school for accounting and then you are trying to find a job in accounting and you can't find a job in accounting. I believe that you find another skill that is high in demand and work your way through it. For example, now, this is a very radical example, but in Nigeria as it is now, the building market is growing. Let me use that example because someone told me about this recently that I didn't even think about it. The space in the market for construction workers is rising. Now imagine what it would look like if a construction worker with a bachelor's degree goes in there and uses their high-level thinking to try and make problem solving easier. Now, the problem there is that you don't get the kind of pay you want and you don't get the white-collar job, but then you at least get something out of it. Now, okay, let me leave that one aside. That one's a bit extreme, and let me go into more niche and narrower topics. Okay, so we talked about massive open online courses. Now, if you haven't listened to that episode, at the end of this one, go back and listen to the MOOCs courses, because I talked about massive open online courses sometime last year, and I'm talking about them again this year in my last episode. So massive open online courses have provided a platform where we can actually learn new skills. For example, now, when I started this podcast, I had no idea how to edit my shows. And shout out to Martin, because Martin helped me a lot with my editing for the first 2 or 3 months. And then I realized that I could actually do some editing by myself. And that's how I grew. I learned how to use Logic Pro, and I started working from there. And actually right now, I'm in a process of transitioning again to the point where I am outsourcing all my production. So very soon you'll start seeing episodes that are not done by me. Basically, I'm the one doing all the vocal work and everything, but I myself have to outsource it to a production manager who will take care of all the audio editing, audio engineer. I need to add in script writer. I need to add in different areas, different leverages so that I can actually focus on getting you guys the best content possible. And all that is in the works right now. So the team at The Average African Kid is expanding. Shout out to those who have reached out to me already. I just got a one message about someone who was already interested in one of the things I'm working on. And I'm really excited to start working with new young minds who are ready to make an impact in this generation. And that brings me to this point. Content creation. There are so many jobs available online right now. I went to Upworks. I set up an Upworks account, okay? And I tried to sell myself as a audio podcast editor, audio engineer for that, because I have 2 years of experience of doing that, right? And the number of jobs I find on there are amazingly, ludicrously amazing. There's so many. Every minute, someone else is popping up a new job offer that they want someone to do some podcast edits for them, and they want this and that. Now, the same happens in the YouTube space. Many people want video editors. Many people want very niche topics, right? And the beauty about this is that it means that the jobs are available. But also the despairing part about this is that you need the particular skills to be able to get those jobs. And that's where the frustration comes in. So it's not the fact that the jobs are not available. It's the fact that the skills for the jobs that are available are harder to get, should I say, or the entry point into this market is a bit higher. For example, now, would I choose a young editor who has 0 clients, or would I choose an editor who has done over 300 works for different clients? And then, of course, it then comes into pricing. Like, now, the younger person has to price lower. Like, let's say he charges $3 per, per 30 minutes of edits, while someone else charges like $50 for the same amount of time. And it all has to do with value, because the more you do the work, the more reviews you get, the more pushings up you get, the more leverage you get to increase your price, to do niche work for the clients you want, and then you get to choose your own clients and work at your own pace. But I really am a fan of this self-paced freelancing journey, because right now jobs are not available. Like in Nigeria right now, the government is not really hiring. What they are doing for public school system is that they use core members, NYSC members. By the way, all the NYSC members that are listening to my podcast, shout out to you, a big shout out. Thank you for supporting the podcast so far, and we look out for more things to come. But what we see the government doing is that in the secondary schools, they don't have teachers. They don't hire teachers anymore. They don't bring in new staff. They don't do new recruitment processes. What they do now is simple. They just take the National Youth Corps, NYSC, oh my goodness, National Youth Service Corps members, and they take these NYSC members and they dump them in schools without the training, and they give them courses. Like, I was in charge of biology for SS1, and myself had never been, I've always been teaching, because I've always taught. Fun fact, I've actually taught medical students, I've taught optometry students, trying to help them get ready for their certification examinations and for their interviews for application to professional schools. And I would say that all my students are doing well. They're all in their respective schools. That might not just have to be with me, but it might do the fact that they really wanted to learn, so they came to me too. So that's good. But what I'm trying to say is this. The government is not hiring. So trying to wait for government jobs is not really a good idea at this point in time. Other avenues you could look at private jobs. And I was saying this on the show a few months ago that, if I did not want to go in the line of medicine and surgery and everything like that, what I could literally do is this. I could equip myself with the skills I have now, which are audio engineering for podcasting and YouTube video editing and content creation and a bit of data analytics, because I told you I'm taking a class on data analytics right now. And I could go to a firm and like, hey guys, this is what I do right now. I have the skills to be able to market your business professionally. I see that you have a very powerful brand here, but no one is telling your story right now. No one is there to help you tell this story. So I offer my services to you. Let me help you to make your company more visible to your target audience. What happens there? You just created a job that did not exist before. And that is why I'm so particular about this. That is why I say over and over again that there are a plethora of jobs in the world right now. I would argue that there are more jobs than we can fill right now, because people are looking for skilled hands to help them. Now, the good old days of simple jobs where you just do it and get paid and go away they're dying away. Many shops are closing down. Even malls, even supermarkets are experiencing less and less people in the field, because people are now shopping from home, especially with COVID-19. What it showed us was that we could actually use things like Jumia, things like Konga, things like Amazon, Etsy to get what we need, and we don't ever have to leave our houses. So you see where I'm coming from in this job market. I know you might tell me, Toyo, this is just you talking from a very advantaged position in life. You have the opportunity to take these classes. You have the funds available to take courses. You have the computer, you have the internet, and then you can do all these things. But I actually disagree with you. If we're talking about a simple skill, like not really simple, not to knock anybody else who does it, but when I say simple, you should understand what I'm talking about. A simple skill like shoemaking, which is actually quite complex. If you could learn shoemaking from a pro and start designing shoes, there is a market. Like, all it takes is the knowledge. Really, once you have the skill, you need the knowledge to be able to do all these things well. Maybe that should be something I work on later on in my career. Maybe after 2 or 3 years of just this podcast and growing, maybe I should start teaching young entrepreneurs how to better package themselves and how to able to leverage their own skills to make a bigger impact. Maybe that's what I should be doing. But right now, I'm just telling you that there is opportunity in the world. I don't know if you can tell if I'm so passionate about this right now. I don't know if you can tell, but I am, because I know that opportunities avail. And you might tell me that, oh, what if I want to work in my field and nobody's hiring me? Bro, sis, get into a new field. And you're like, it's not that easy. I know, it really isn't that easy. Look at this podcast, for example. I've been running this podcast for 2 years, and be honest with you, at this point, I've incurred quite a few losses. I haven't yet netted in the profit zone at all for all the equipment and all the subscriptions I've had to do for the podcast. But that doesn't faze me, because I want to grow. I want to get better. And you're like, but I can't afford to make all these kind of investments right now. It's okay. Do what you can. Take some time off to think. I'm not going to tell you that jobs are going to be waiting at your footsteps for you every single step. And I'm not telling you that your nieces, your nephews, your uncles or aunts who are looking for jobs will find them immediately. What I'm telling you is that right now, opportunities abound. And if you can find a problem and you can solve a problem for somebody somewhere, you just created a job for yourself. Now, you might not agree with me, you might agree with me and everything, but I would love to hear your voice on this matter. Reach out to me, leave a comment. And by the way, please again, please leave a comment on the podcast. If you listen on iTunes, leave a review, because right now we only have 2 reviews on there right now, and we need more reviews. Come on, leave a 5-star rating, leave a review telling people how great this show is. We need to spread this show to more people. Don't you want people to see these videos? Oh, by the way, share this episode with someone else who is looking for a job or who complains that the job market is saturated. Share it with them. They need to hear this. They need to pick something from this episode. Even if they disagree with me, I'm okay with it. But let them realize that there are opportunities in the air. Then if you haven't heard the Master Open Online Courses videos, you might be wondering, how do I learn these new skills? Check out that particular episode. It is the one before this one. And yes, you get some more information about that. Okay, so that's all we have to offer for you today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Wow, we're already here. You just listened to another episode of the Double AK podcast. Thank you very much for listening. As we said before, this is run by the host, Toya Risinara, with a team that we're trying to grow. So please do us a favor and subscribe to the podcast wherever you can. Wherever Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, be it Podbeam, subscribe. And I want to say a very special shout out to those from all over the world, from Canada, from the United States, from the United Kingdom, from Australia, from Tanzania, from Ghana, from South Africa, and all the places where this show has gone wild, from Ukraine and its neighboring countries, from Russia. Wow. Thank you guys for listening to this show. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay amazing.